Success is never an accident. It is not random. It is not luck. People see the trophies, the awards, the accolades, the recognition, but almost no one sees the hours, the sacrifices, and the discipline that built them. What winners do when no one is watching is the foundation of their visible success. Every high achiever has private routines, hidden habits, and personal standards that are unseen by the world. They wake up early when others are still asleep. They train, study, and prepare when no one is applauding. They make choices every day that align with their goals, even when it's hard, boring, or uncomfortable. While others scroll through distractions, they invest in themselves. While others quit at the first sign of resistance, they persist quietly, consistently, and relentlessly. Winners understand a critical truth: consistency in private creates results in public. You cannot build greatness by showing up only when people are watching. Real success is forged in solitude, in silence, in the moments where nobody will notice. It is built through small, repeated actions that nobody applauds today, but will create a lifetime of triumph tomorrow. Consider athletes. The gold medalist on the podium has endured thousands of unseen hours of training, early mornings, grueling workouts, missed parties, and sacrifices. Every push-up, every drill, every repetition was done without recognition, done because they understood that winners perform when no one is watching. This principle is true for every domain: entrepreneurs, artists, writers, leaders, and students. The late night studying when others are partying, the extra mile in training when no one is looking, the quiet sacrifices, the disciplined routines, the refusal to take shortcuts. That is what separates winners from the rest. It is easy to be consistent when the spotlight is on you. It is easy to work hard when recognition is guaranteed. But winners thrive when there is no external validation, no cheering crowd, no immediate reward. They do what is right because they value their goals more than temporary comfort. They understand that character, discipline, and integrity are built in private. Most people make excuses when no one is watching. They skip the workout. They procrastinate on the task. They take shortcuts. They justify laziness. Winners refuse excuses. They take full responsibility. They act because they are committed to themselves, not to anyone else. This unseen effort compounds over time. Day after day, week after week, year after year, the cumulative effect of private discipline becomes extraordinary results. This is why the world often sees only the glory and assumes it came easily. But behind every success story is a person who chose hard work when no one was watching, who embraced struggle when it was lonely, who remained consistent when it was inconvenient. Winners also understand the power of habits. Habits are the architecture of success, and the best habits are invisible. Making your bed every morning, reading for an hour daily, journaling, practicing, learning, reflecting. These small but consistent behaviors shape your identity. And identity is the ultimate driver of results. If you see yourself as disciplined, capable, and resilient, you naturally make choices that reflect that identity, even when no one is observing. They understand that life rewards the patient and the consistent. Quick wins are fleeting. Recognition is temporary, but the private efforts, the daily commitment to growth, are permanent. Every push, every repetition, every disciplined choice adds invisible weight to your skill, your mind, and your character. Another critical principle: integrity in solitude. Winners act with honesty and ethics even when there is no audience. They do not cheat, cut corners, or compromise their standards when no one is watching. This invisible integrity builds trust, reputation, and self-respect. You cannot fake greatness. What you do when no one is watching eventually becomes visible in the quality of your work, your results, and the respect you earn. Success is built quietly, intentionally, and with patience. It is invisible until it is undeniable. Winners embrace the hard, hidden work because they understand the law of compounding effort. Small actions repeated consistently yield massive results. Skipping the hard work today only delays greatness. The invisible engine that powers winners when no one is watching. Because effort without the right mindset can burn out. Consistency without clarity can become meaningless. Winners develop a mindset of ownership and responsibility. They understand that no one owes them success. No one will push them. No one will hand them results. The world does not reward excuses, complaints, or justification. It rewards action, discipline, and persistence. They accept full responsibility for their choices, their habits, and the results, whether others are watching or not. This mindset transforms every obstacle into an opportunity, every failure into a lesson, and every setback into a stepping stone. Another hallmark of their mindset is self-motivation. Winners do not rely on applause, recognition, or external encouragement to act. They act because they understand that their dreams require action, and action requires discipline. Motivation is fleeting. Excuses are persuasive, but self-motivation is sustainable because it comes from a vision that is bigger than temporary discomfort. When no one is watching, they remind themselves of the why behind every task, the purpose that drives them forward. They also cultivate patience and long-term thinking. Most people give up when results are slow or invisible. Winners understand that the seeds they plant in private often take time to grow. The late-night practice, the extra hours of study, the repeated effort that goes unnoticed. These are invisible investments in future success. They do not seek instant gratification. They seek lasting impact. They embrace delayed rewards because they understand that greatness is earned, not given. Winners maintain focus on process, not outcome. When no one is watching, the temptation is to cut corners or skip the hard work. But winners focus on doing what must be done correctly and consistently, regardless of immediate results. They know that excellence is built one disciplined action at a time. The result will follow naturally when effort is compounded over time. Another key aspect is mental resilience. Private effort is often lonely. It is uncomfortable. It is unseen. Many give up because they feel invisible, discouraged, or unrecognized. But winners thrive in solitude. They embrace the discomfort of discipline and the challenge of self-improvement because they know that real growth happens outside the comfort zone. Every time they push themselves when no one is watching, they strengthen not just their skills, but their character. Winners also practice emotional control. They do not let frustration, boredom, or fear dictate their actions. When tasks feel tedious or obstacles arise, they persist anyway. They manage their emotions, channeling them into action rather than letting them become excuses. This self-control is what allows them to maintain momentum even in the most challenging circumstances. Another important principle is attention to detail. Winners understand that greatness is built in the small things. Making a single effort when no one is looking, checking your work, preparing carefully, refining your skills. These micro-actions accumulate into macro results. Excellence is invisible in the moment but undeniable over time. They also embrace continuous learning and growth. While others rest or become complacent, winners invest in their knowledge, skills, and mindset. They read, practice, analyze, reflect, and iterate. They understand that the work done privately today compounds into mastery tomorrow. Finally, winners practice integrity and self-discipline. They stick to their principles, routines, and standards even when no one is around to enforce them. They don't cheat, cut corners, or take shortcuts. Their consistency and adherence to high standards build not only results but self-respect and confidence. They prove to themselves every day that they are reliable, capable, and disciplined. In essence, what winners do when no one is watching is the foundation of their visible success. Every private choice, every disciplined habit, every act of perseverance creates the architecture of greatness. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, you must cultivate the same mindset: ownership, self-motivation, patience, focus, resilience, and integrity. Because these are the invisible forces that multiply your effort and transform potential into reality. The first habit is early rising. Winners understand that the day belongs to those who show up first. While most people hit snooze, they embrace the quiet hours of the morning to focus, plan, and act without distraction. Those early hours allow uninterrupted work, deep reflection, and a head start on goals. This habit is not about the time on the clock. It is about claiming moments that others waste and using them intentionally. Another critical habit is consistent practice and skill development. Winners dedicate time every day to sharpen their abilities. They practice the craft, study the principles, and refine their techniques. even when no one is watching or applauding. While others rely on occasional bursts of effort, winners commit to mastery through repetition and incremental improvement. This unseen practice becomes their advantage, creating excellence that is undeniable when results appear. Planning and prioritization is another habit winners excel in privately. They make daily, weekly, and monthly plans that align with their long-term goals. They prioritize tasks that matter most, tackling high-impact activities first rather than spending energy on distractions or trivialities. They understand that every small decision adds up, and by consistently aligning actions with purpose, they accumulate massive progress. Winners also cultivate the habit of self-discipline. They follow routines, maintain schedules, and adhere to principles even when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. They exercise, eat well, read, meditate, or work on personal development, not for recognition, but because these actions compound into long-term strength, focus, and resilience. Self-discipline allows them to take action even when motivation wanes, and it separates temporary effort from sustainable growth. Another essential habit is reflection and self-assessment. Winners regularly evaluate their actions, decisions, and progress. They ask themselves what worked, what didn't, and how they can improve. Journaling, tracking goals, or reviewing performance are private actions that sharpen awareness and prevent repeating mistakes. Reflection builds self-knowledge, and self-knowledge accelerates success. Winners also practice gratitude and perspective, even in private. They acknowledge small wins, appreciate progress, and stay mindful of lessons learned. This habit keeps them grounded, prevents complacency, and fuels motivation without reliance on external validation. Gratitude strengthens resilience, keeping their focus on growth rather than comparison or envy. Another habit is reading and learning continuously. Winners invest in themselves by consuming knowledge that aligns with their goals, whether books, podcasts, courses, or mentors. Learning in private, without needing approval or recognition, compounds into wisdom and skill that gives them a competitive edge. While others spend idle time on distractions, winners quietly accumulate knowledge that transforms results. Health and fitness is another key private habit. Winners understand that physical energy fuels mental clarity, focus, and performance. They prioritize exercise, nutrition, and rest, even when it's inconvenient or unobserved. Consistently caring for their body gives them energy and confidence that translates directly into productivity and resilience. Winners also practice networking and relationship building in subtle ways. They check in on mentors, support peers, and maintain connections, not for show, but to create authentic value. These small, consistent actions build trust and opportunities that often remain unseen until they yield results. Finally, winners embrace the habit of action despite fear. They act on goals, dreams, and challenges even when uncomfortable or intimidating. Taking consistent steps, however small, develops courage, momentum, and skill. Over time, these repeated private acts of bravery accumulate into extraordinary confidence and capability. In short, winners understand that visible success is the sum of invisible actions. Every habit they cultivate in private, early rising, skill development, planning, discipline, reflection, gratitude, learning, health, relationship building, and courage compounds over time, creating results that others only see later. The power lies in doing the work consistently, even when no one is watching. If you're serious about taking action in your life, stop waiting and start now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because here on this channel, we bring you daily motivation, life-changing insights, and the push you need to stop procrastinating and start achieving. Don't just watch, take action, and let's rise together.